Have you ever wondered why your child behaves a certain way? Why their actions, emotions, or struggles sometimes feel strangely familiar? The truth is, your child is not just an individual soul, but also a living reflection of your karma. They mirror your energy, your patterns, and even your unresolved lessons. This is not coincidence, it is divine design. In this video, we will explore the eye-opening spiritual insight that your child reflects your karma. By understanding this truth, you can heal yourself, guide your child with wisdom, and transform both your destiny and theirs. Introduction. Every child enters this world carrying not just their own destiny, but also a reflection of the energy that surrounds them. When we look into the eyes of a child, we see innocence, curiosity, and endless potential. But if we look a little deeper, we also see something more profound. We see ourselves. A child is not only shaped by the lessons we teach, but by the energy we radiate. They are like mirrors, reflecting back our strengths, our flaws, and our deepest karmic patterns. This connection is not accidental. Spiritually, every soul chooses where and to whom it will be born. The bond between parent and child is far more sacred than biology. It is a continuation of karmic ties that stretch across lifetimes. When a child enters your life, it is the universe sending you a living reflection, a reminder of the lessons you still need to learn, and an opportunity to grow beyond your past. Think about how often children imitate without being told. They absorb not only your words, but your silence, not only your teachings, but your unspoken emotions. If a parent carries unresolved anger, a child may mirror that anger in their own ways. If a parent radiates kindness and patience, the child absorbs those qualities like sunlight. Children don't just watch us, they embody the energy we live in. And this is where the wisdom of karma unfolds. Karma is not simply about punishment or reward. It is about reflection and growth. Life uses children as messengers, as subtle guides, as mirrors that show us what we need to transform within ourselves. A child's behavior often whispers truths that adults overlook. Their tantrums may echo your own suppressed frustrations. Their fears may reflect anxieties you haven't yet healed. Their laughter, on the other hand, reminds you of the joy you sometimes forget to embrace. This realization may feel heavy, but it is not meant to burden you. It is meant to awaken you. Your child is not here to remind you of failure. They are here to lead you into self-discovery. Parenting is not only about shaping the future of your child. It is also about reshaping the soul of the parent. It is a journey of two souls learning, teaching, and evolving together. So, when you see your child, see more than a responsibility. See a spiritual companion. See a karmic guide. See a reflection that reveals both your unhealed wounds and your hidden potential. This awareness transforms the way you parent, and more importantly, it transforms the way you grow. Every smile, every tear, every challenge with your child is not just part of their story. It is part of your karmic story too. Embrace this truth, and you will begin to see that raising a child is one of the most sacred opportunities the universe has ever given you. The spiritual bond between parent and child. The bond between a parent and child is unlike any other connection in this world. It goes far beyond biology, beyond the visible ties of family, and even beyond the everyday responsibilities of raising a young soul. At its core, this bond is spiritual. It is the coming together of two souls who have chosen one another in this lifetime, not by chance, but by divine arrangement. When a child is born, many people think it is simply the result of human decisions, of timing, or of circumstance. But on a deeper level, the child's soul has chosen its parents, and the parents' souls have agreed to guide, nurture, and walk alongside this young spirit. This is not a coincidence. It is a sacred contract, written long before birth. The universe orchestrates this union so that both parent and child can evolve, learn, and heal together. Think about it. Why is it that some children are drawn to certain parents despite differences in personality or even conflict? Why is it that a parent feels an unshakable love for their child even in the toughest times? The answer lies in karma and soul agreements. That child carries within them the very lessons the parent needs to face, and the parent carries the guidance the child's soul requires. Together, they create a divine classroom where growth is inevitable. This spiritual bond often shows itself in subtle ways. You may notice your child mirroring your emotions even when you don't speak them out loud. You may see your child display qualities you once had as a child but perhaps abandoned over time. You may also notice that your child triggers your patience, your fears, or even your insecurities. None of this is random. These are not just everyday parenting challenges. They are spiritual opportunities for reflection. For example, a parent who struggles with self-worth may find that their child instantly seeks validation and reassurance. A parent who has unresolved anger may notice their child acting out aggressively. On the other hand, a parent who nurtures peace and compassion often finds those same values blossoming naturally within their child. The bond is so deep that energy flows silently between both souls, shaping behaviors, emotions, and perspectives. This bond is not about perfection, it is about growth. No parent is perfect, and no child is perfect. But together, they create a path that allows both to discover new depths of love, forgiveness, and wisdom. In guiding your child, you are also guiding yourself. In protecting them, you learn responsibility. In forgiving them, you practice compassion. And in loving them, you remember the unconditional love of the divine. So see your relationship with your child as more than duty. See it as a sacred partnership. Your child was not placed in your life by mistake. They are here because your souls are intertwined. They carry the wisdom of your past, the challenges of your karma, and the potential for a brighter future. By recognizing this bond, you unlock not only a deeper connection with your child, but also a deeper connection with your own soul. Karma as a mirror. Karma is one of the most profound and misunderstood principles of life. Many people think of it as punishment or reward, as if life is keeping score of every action. But in truth, karma is not about punishment. It is about reflection. It is the mirror the universe holds up to us so that we can see ourselves clearly and grow beyond our limitations. And often, the clearest mirror of all is found in our children. Every choice we make, every word we speak, every emotion we hold onto, it all leaves an imprint. These imprints shape our energy, and this energy is absorbed by the world around us, especially by those closest to us. Who is closer than our children? They are born into our energy field. They live in the vibration we create at home, and they grow by reflecting back the very patterns we carry within us. If a parent has unresolved anger, it often shows itself in the child's temper. If a parent struggles with fear or insecurity, the child may express those same anxieties in their own way. On the other hand, if a parent lives with patience, kindness, and resilience, the child tends to mirror those qualities as well. In this way, karma is not something distant or abstract. It is alive in the daily interactions between parent and child. It may feel uncomfortable to realize that our children reflect our inner state, but this awareness is a gift. It allows us to see ourselves honestly through their eyes. When your child behaves in a way that troubles you, instead of only asking, "What's wrong with my child?" you can also ask, "What is life trying to show me about myself through them?" This simple shift in perspective can transform parenting from a struggle into a spiritual journey. Think about it. A mirror never lies. It shows us the truth, even when the truth is hard to face. That is what karma does. And children, with their innocence, become the most honest mirrors of all. They don't filter, they don't hide, and they don't pretend. They simply reflect what they receive. This reflection is not meant to shame you, it is meant to guide you. Karma is an invitation. When you see your child reflecting impatience, it invites you to practice patience. When you see them showing fear, it invites you to strengthen courage. When they mirror your love, it invites you to expand it even further. In every moment, karma gives us a choice: repeat the same patterns or rise above them. So instead of seeing karma as a burden, see it as a teacher. Instead of fearing it, embrace it. Your child is not here to remind you of what you cannot change. They are here to help you see what you can change. By recognizing karma as a mirror, you not only become more aware of yourself, but you also become more compassionate toward your child. Together, you both grow, you both heal, and you both evolve into stronger, wiser souls. The child as a reflection of inner state. Children are like open canvases. They arrive in this world pure, untouched, and ready to be shaped. But what many people forget is that before the world paints its colors on them, they first absorb the energy of their parents. A child does not simply learn from what you say. They learn far more from what you feel, what you believe, and how you live. In this sense, a child becomes the reflection of your inner state. Think of a mirror again. When you smile into it, the mirror smiles back. When you frown, it frowns too. In the same way, when your heart carries love, joy, and peace, your child reflects those qualities in their own way. But when your inner state is restless, anxious, or filled with negativity, your child cannot help but mirror that energy. They do not do this consciously. It is simply the nature of their sensitivity. Children feel what adults try to hide. For example, if a parent lives with constant stress, the child often becomes restless, easily irritated, or even withdrawn. If a parent harbors unspoken anger, the child may express it through tantrums or defiance. On the other hand, when a parent radiates calmness, the child feels secure and grounded. When a parent practices kindness, the child naturally learns compassion. In every action, in every emotion, the parent's inner state is quietly shaping the child's outer world. This truth can feel heavy, but it is also empowering. It means that the greatest gift you can give your child is not wealth, not success, not even perfect guidance. The greatest gift is your own inner peace, your own self-mastery, your own healed and balanced energy. Because whatever you cultivate within yourself flows effortlessly into your child's life. Many parents ask, why does my child behave this way? A better question might be, what part of myself is my child reflecting back to me? This perspective changes everything. Instead of seeing your child's difficult behavior as a problem, you begin to see it as a mirror of something within you that needs attention. If your child is impatient, maybe it's a reminder to slow down. If your child is fearful, maybe it's asking you to examine the fears you've carried silently. Children are like little truth tellers. They expose what adults try to cover up. They reflect your unhealed wounds as much as they reflect your love. And that is their greatest gift. They help you see yourself with honesty. They remind you of the importance of self-awareness. They encourage you to become the best version of yourself, not just for your own sake, but for theirs too. So remember this. Your child does not simply watch you, they become you. They absorb your energy more deeply than your words. If you want your child to shine with love, courage, and confidence, let those qualities first grow within you. The child is the reflection, and you are the source. When you heal yourself, you heal them. When you rise, they rise with you. Breaking generational patterns. Every family carries invisible stories. Some are stories of strength, resilience, and love, but others are stories of pain, fear, and repeated mistakes. These unspoken patterns flow quietly from one generation to the next, often without anyone realizing it. And this is where the role of parenting becomes more than just raising a child. It becomes the chance to break generational patterns and create a new destiny. Have you ever noticed how certain struggles seem to repeat themselves within families? Perhaps a grandparent lived with anger and the parent carried that same fire. Perhaps financial instability, broken relationships, or unresolved trauma have echoed through the bloodline. These patterns are not accidents. They are karmic cycles. They continue until someone decides to face them, heal them, and stop passing them forward. That someone can be you. When you see your child repeating behaviors or challenges that remind you of your past, or even of your own parents' lives, it is not just coincidence. It is a karmic reminder. The universe is giving you a chance to see the pattern clearly and to change it before it takes deeper root in the next generation. Children are often the living proof of whether cycles are broken or repeated. But here lies the good news. The cycle does not have to continue. You are not bound to repeat what came before you. You are given the sacred opportunity to transform it. When you choose to heal your wounds instead of burying them, you send a ripple of healing energy into your child's life. When you choose love over anger, forgiveness over resentment, peace over chaos, you not only change your own future, but you also rewrite your child's destiny. Breaking generational patterns begins with awareness. It requires you to be honest about your own struggles and the struggles of those who came before you. Instead of saying, "That's just how things are in my family," you begin to ask, "What needs to change so my child doesn't inherit this burden?" This shift in perspective turns pain into purpose. And yes, it is not always easy. Breaking patterns takes courage. It asks you to confront your fears, to reprogram old beliefs, and to rise above what feels familiar. But every time you choose to face your inner battles, you make life lighter for your child. You free them from the weight of carrying what does not belong to them. You become the bridge between the pain of the past and the possibility of a brighter future. Remember this: your child does not need you to be perfect. They need you to be conscious. They need you to be the one who says, "The cycle stops here." In doing so, you give them a gift greater than anything money or status could ever buy: the gift of freedom. Freedom from repeating the past, freedom to create their own path, and freedom to grow into their fullest potential. When you heal generations before you and generations after you. Breaking a pattern is not just for your child, it is for your entire lineage. That is the true power of conscious parenting. Children as spiritual teachers. Most parents believe that their primary role is to teach their children, to guide them, discipline them, and shape them into good human beings. And while this is true, there is another side to the story that is often overlooked. Children are not only our students, they are also our teachers. They arrive in our lives carrying lessons that no book, no classroom, and no mentor could ever teach us. Think about it. Who teaches you the true meaning of patience? A child who asks 100 questions in a single day. Who teaches you the depth of unconditional love? A child who hugs you even after you lose your temper. Who teaches you humility? A child who shows you without judgment the parts of yourself that you still need to work on. Children, in their innocence, are some of the greatest spiritual teachers we will ever meet. They remind us of truths we once knew but forgot as adults. Watch a child at play, and you will see pure presence. They are not worried about tomorrow, nor are they trapped in yesterday. They live fully in the moment, teaching us the art of mindfulness without even realizing it. Watch the way they forgive so easily, letting go of anger within minutes, and you'll learn more about forgiveness than years of spiritual study could teach you. Children also challenge us in ways that push us to grow. Their tantrums test our patience, their curiosity tests our knowledge, and their honesty tests our ego. These challenges are not meant to frustrate us, but to awaken us. When your child pushes your buttons, it is not simply misbehavior. It is life nudging you toward growth. They are showing you where your boundaries, your temper, or your unresolved issues still lie. A child's perspective also teaches us to see the world with fresh eyes. Where adults see obstacles, children see possibilities. Where we see limits, they see adventure. Hey, invite us to rediscover wonder, to reconnect with joy, and to see beauty in the smallest things. In this way, they remind us that spirituality is not always about grand rituals or deep meditation. It is often about returning to simplicity, curiosity, and pure love. It is easy to think of yourself as the one shaping your child, but the truth is that your child is shaping you too. Every sleepless night, every tough question, every moment of laughter or tears is part of a bigger lesson. They are molding you into a better version of yourself, more patient, more compassionate, more resilient, and more human. So the next time your child challenges you, pause and ask yourself, what lesson is being offered to me here? You may discover that your child is not only here to grow, under your guidance, but also to guide you toward your highest self. In their innocence lies wisdom. In their vulnerability lies strength, and in their love lies the purest reminder of the divine. Truly, children are not just learners in this life, they are our greatest teachers. Conscious parenting as karma healing. Parenting is often thought of as a duty, feeding a child, protecting them, sending them to school, and preparing them for the world. But in truth, parenting is much deeper than responsibility. It is a spiritual journey, an opportunity to heal your own karma while guiding your child to create a better one. When you approach parenting consciously, you are not only shaping your child's future, you are also cleansing your past. Conscious parenting means living with awareness. It means realizing that your words, your energy, and your actions leave lasting impressions on your child's soul. Instead of reacting blindly, you respond with mindfulness. Instead of repeating patterns passed down from your own parents, you pause and ask, "Is this the energy I want to pass on?" That simple awareness turns ordinary parenting into karma healing. Think of it this way. Every unhealed wound you carry can easily pass to your child. If you grew up with fear, anger, or neglect, those energies may slip into your parenting without you noticing. But when you choose to break the cycle, when you face your wounds, heal them, and replace them with love, you protect your child from carrying the same burden. You are rewriting the karmic story of your family. Conscious parenting is not about being perfect. You will still make mistakes, and your child will still challenge you. But the difference lies in how you respond. When you lose patience, you apologize instead of ignoring it. When you notice fear rising in your child, you reflect on whether they are mirroring your own hidden fears. This kind of awareness transforms both you and your child, because it creates space for healing instead of repeating the past. Imagine what happens when you raise your child with love instead of fear, with encouragement instead of criticism, with presence instead of distraction. You are planting seeds of light in their soul, and those seeds will grow into kindness, confidence, and resilience. But even more beautifully, as you nurture those seeds in your child, you also nurture them within yourself. Parenting becomes a mirror showing you the areas of your soul that are still waiting for healing. Conscious parenting also teaches you humility. It reminds you that you are not above your child, but beside them, two souls walking a shared journey. Yes, you are guiding them, but they are also guiding you. Together, you are both learning the language of love, patience, and forgiveness. This shared growth is what heals karma. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, you heal. Every time you choose compassion over anger, you heal. Every time you forgive yourself and your child, you heal. And with every act of healing, you free not only yourself but also your child from the cycles of the past. So remember, conscious parenting is more than raising a child. It is the sacred art of raising yourself. By becoming aware, by choosing love, and by living with intention, you turn parenting into a spiritual path. And on this path, karma is not a burden, but a blessing, because it gives you the chance to transform your life and your child's life forever. Responsibility, not blame. One of the heaviest weights a parent can carry is the thought, maybe I failed my child. When children struggle, whether it's in school, with behavior, or in relationships, many parents immediately turn to blame. Some blame themselves. It's my fault my child is this way. Others blame the child. Why can't they just listen or do better? But blame, whether directed at yourself or your child, creates nothing but guilt, shame, and resentment. True growth comes not from blame, but from responsibility. Blame keeps us stuck in the past. It makes us replay mistakes over and over without offering a way forward. Responsibility, on the other hand, is empowering. It is the ability to say, yes, challenges exist. Yes, mistakes have been made. But what can I do right now to guide my child and to heal myself? Responsibility is not about punishing yourself. It is about owning your role and using it as a chance for growth. When you see your child facing difficulties, instead of drowning in guilt, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what lesson is life asking me to learn here? What support, does my child need from me right now? This shift from blame to responsibility opens a door to healing for both you and your child. Children, remember, are not here to make you feel like a failure. They are here as reflections, as teachers, as companions on your karmic path. When they struggle, it is not a sign that you are unworthy as a parent. It is an invitation to rise higher, to love deeper, and to guide with more wisdom. Blame shuts this door, but responsibility opens it wide. Think about how differently a child feels when they are blamed versus when you take responsibility. Blame sounds like, "You're always misbehaving. Why can't you be better?" It creates shame and distance. Responsibility sounds like, "I see you're struggling. Let's work on this together. I'll support you." It creates trust, connection, and the space for growth. Even when mistakes happen, responsibility allows healing. If you lose patience and raise your voice, instead of blaming yourself endlessly, you can take responsibility by apologizing and modeling humility for your child. That simple act not only teaches them forgiveness, but also shows them that mistakes are not the end. They are stepping stones for learning. And here's the spiritual truth. The universe does not demand perfection from parents. It only asks for awareness and effort. Your child does not need you to be flawless. They need you to be present, willing to learn, and brave enough to take responsibility when things go wrong. That is what breaks karmic cycles and builds stronger bonds. So release the burden of blame. Stop carrying the weight of guilt or pointing fingers at your child. Instead, embrace responsibility. Step into your role with courage, with humility, and with love. For it is not blame that transforms lives, it is responsibility. And when you choose responsibility, you give your child not just guidance, but also the gift of seeing what true strength really looks like. The energy you radiate shapes them. Children may not always do what we say, but they will almost always absorb who we are. Long before they understand our words, they understand our energy. They feel our moods, our unspoken emotions, and the atmosphere we create around them. This is why it is often said, children don't just learn from what you teach, they learn from what you live. The truth is, your energy is like the invisible air your child breathes every single day. If that air is filled with love, patience, and calmness, your child grows in security and strength. If that air is filled with anger, fear, or restlessness, your child feels unsettled, even if you never say a word about it. Children are highly intuitive. They sense what is real, even when adults try to hide it. Think about how a home feels. You can walk into a house where people are constantly arguing, and immediately you feel the heaviness. Likewise, you can enter a home filled with kindness and laughter, and instantly your heart feels lighter. Your child lives in this atmosphere all the time. They are shaped by it, not just mentally but spiritually. This is why self-awareness is so important in parenting. When you are stressed, angry, or distracted, your child notices. They may act out, not because they are bad, but because they are reflecting the turbulence they feel from you. When you center yourself, when you radiate peace, your child absorbs that peace. You don't have to lecture them about calmness. They simply feel it and begin to live it. Your energy is also what teaches resilience. If you face challenges with fear, your child learns fear. If you face challenges with courage, your child learns strength. Every reaction, every emotion, every vibration you carry teaches them how to live. The most powerful lessons you give your child are not in your words but in your energy. This does not mean, and you need to be perfect. It means you need to be authentic. When you make mistakes, admit them with humility, and your child learns honesty. When you feel pain but still choose kindness, your child learns compassion. When you struggle but refuse to give up, your child learns perseverance. These are the invisible lessons of energy, the ones that shape character more deeply than any lecture could. So instead of only asking, "What should I teach my child today?" ask yourself, "What energy am I radiating today? Is it love or anger? Calmness or chaos? Hope or despair?" Because whatever you carry within you, your child is quietly learning to carry too. Remember, Children are not just raised by your hands, they are raised by your energy. And that energy becomes their inner voice, their guiding force, and their foundation for life. If you want your child to walk in light, make sure you are radiating that light first. For in the end, the greatest gift you can give them is not what you say, but who you are. Forgiveness and karma release. One of the most powerful forces in the universe is forgiveness. Yet, it is also one of the most difficult for many parents to practice, both toward themselves and toward their children. We often carry the weight of guilt for mistakes we have made in parenting. We hold on to regret for moments of anger, words spoken in frustration, or times we were absent when our child needed us most. But clinging to guilt only binds us to karmic cycles. True release comes through forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about pretending the mistake never happened. It is about acknowledging the pain, learning from it, and then letting it go so it no longer controls your energy. When you forgive yourself, you free not only your soul, but also your child's soul. Why? Because children feel what parents carry. If you hold on to guilt, your child absorbs the heaviness of that energy. But when you forgive, your child feels the lightness of healing. In the same way, children also need forgiveness. They are learning, stumbling, and growing. They will make mistakes, defy your guidance, and sometimes break your heart. But just as you long for forgiveness when you fall short, your child longs for it too. Forgiving them does not mean allowing wrong behavior to continue. It means correcting with love, guiding with compassion, and releasing resentment. It means separating the behavior from the soul and remembering that their essence is still pure. Forgiveness is also a spiritual tool for breaking karmic chains. Many of the struggles between parents and children do not begin in this lifetime. They are carried over from the past. Old wounds, unfinished lessons, and unresolved energies find their way into the parent-child relationship. When conflicts feel unusually intense, it may be because the karma between your soul and your child's soul is asking to be healed, and healing begins with forgiveness. Imagine the power of looking into your child's eyes, even after a painful moment, and silently saying, "I forgive you and I forgive myself. We are here to grow, not to suffer." This energy breaks cycles. It dissolves anger, softens hearts, and opens the door for love to flow again. Forgiveness also teaches children one of the most important lessons of life, that mistakes are not the end, but opportunities to rise higher. When they see you forgive yourself, they learn not to be crushed by guilt. When they see you forgive them, they learn not to drown in shame. Forgiveness shows them the path of resilience, compassion, and healing. So release the chains of the past. Do not carry guilt like a burden on your shoulders, and do not hold your child prisoner to their mistakes. Choose forgiveness. It is the bridge between pain and peace, between karma and freedom. By forgiving, you release both yourself and your child from cycles that no longer serve your souls. And in that release, you open the way for love to become the true foundation of your relationship, planting seeds of light. Every word you speak to your child, every action you take, every moment you share is like planting a seed in the garden of their soul. These seeds, whether positive or negative, take root and grow into the beliefs, habits, and values that will shape the rest of their lives. This is why conscious parenting is not just about correcting behavior in the moment. It is about planting seeds of light that will continue to blossom long after childhood has passed. Imagine your child's soul as fertile soil. Into this soil, every experience you give them becomes a seed. When you speak with kindness, you plant the seed of compassion. When you show patience, you plant the seed of resilience. When you encourage them to believe in themselves, you plant the seed of confidence. Over time, these seeds grow into strong trees that give shade, shelter, and fruit, not just to your child, but also to everyone they touch in their life. But the same truth applies in the opposite direction. Words spoken in anger plant seeds of fear. Neglect plants seeds of insecurity. Harsh criticism plants seeds of doubt. And while children can heal and grow beyond these wounds, it is always easier to nurture seeds of light from the very beginning. This is the sacred responsibility of parenting, to choose what kind of seeds we sow in the souls of our children. Planting seeds of light does not require perfection. It requires consistency. Even small daily acts of love can transform a child's inner world. A smile when they walk into the room, a gentle hug when they feel insecure, listening with full attention when they share something important. These are simple acts, but their impact is eternal. Children rarely remember every word you say, but they always remember how you made them feel. That feeling becomes the root of their self-worth and their outlook on life. What's more, these seeds are light ripple beyond your child. When they grow up carrying compassion, they spread it into their relationships. When they learn resilience, they inspire others. When they embody kindness, they make the world softer and brighter. By planting seeds of light in one soul, you are planting them in countless others. This is how healing spreads through generations. It's also important to remember that seeds take time to grow. You may not see immediate results. Sometimes you will plant seeds of patience, and your child may still struggle with restlessness. Sometimes you will plant seeds of wisdom, and they may still make mistakes. But trust the process. Seeds grow slowly, often underground where you cannot see them. Then one day, they bloom into something beautiful. So every time you feel overwhelmed in parenting, remind yourself, you are planting seeds. Every choice, every word, every moment matters. Choose to plant seeds of love instead of fear, hope instead of doubt, kindness instead of criticism. Because one day those seeds will grow into the garden of your child's life. And that garden will be the most beautiful reflection of the love you chose to give, the sacred responsibility. Parenting is not just a role. It is a sacred responsibility. It is one of the most profound spiritual callings a soul can experience. When a child enters your life, whether by birth, adoption, or even through being a guiding figure, the universe has entrusted you with something priceless, the shaping of a soul's journey. This is not an ordinary responsibility. It is sacred because it directly influences not only the life of your child, but also the unfolding of your own karmic path. Many people think of responsibility as a burden, but when we shift our perspective, we see that it is actually an honor. Out of all the souls in the universe, your child's soul chose you. They trusted you to provide the environment, the guidance, and the lessons they needed for their spiritual growth. That trust is sacred. It means that no matter your flaws, no matter your imperfections, you were divinely matched with this child for a reason. This responsibility is not about being perfect, it is about being present. Sacred responsibility means showing up every day with awareness. It means asking yourself, am I nurturing their soul? Am I guiding them toward love, truth, and wisdom? Am I setting an example of how to live with integrity and compassion? It's about being mindful that your actions today are shaping their future, not just in material ways, but in spiritual ones. Sacred responsibility also means accepting that parenting is a mirror. Every challenge your child presents to you is also a lesson for you. Their tantrums may teach you patience. Their mistakes may remind you of your own humanity. Their questions may awaken wisdom in you that you didn't know you had. To see parenting in this way is to understand that it is not just about raising them, it is also about evolving yourself. And with this responsibility comes the awareness that your child is not your possession. They are not here to fulfill your unfulfilled dreams or to live the life you wanted but never had. They are souls with their own path, their own destiny, and their own lessons to learn. Your sacred role is to guide, not to control, to support, not to dominate, to nurture, not to imprison. The beauty of this responsibility is that it is filled with opportunities for love. Every smile, every shared moment, every difficulty overcome together is an expression of this sacred duty. And when you carry it with awareness, parenting becomes more than a duty. It becomes a spiritual practice. So, remind yourself daily. Being a parent is not just about feeding, teaching, or protecting a child. It is about shaping a soul with love, guiding them with wisdom and preparing them to shine their light in the world. That is the sacred responsibility placed in your hands. And when you embrace it with reverence, parenting becomes one of the most transformative journeys of your life. Breaking generational patterns. One of the most profound aspects of parenting is the opportunity to break generational patterns. Every family carries invisible threads of karma, habits, beliefs, and wounds passed down through generations. Sometimes these patterns are beautiful, like resilience, generosity, or faith. But often they are heavy, cycles of anger, fear, neglect, or silence. Many of us grew up under the weight of these patterns without even realizing it. And yet, when we become parents, we are given the sacred chance to choose. Do we pass these cycles on, or do we break them? Think about it. How many times have you caught yourself saying or doing something your parents once did, even when you promised yourself you never would? That is the power of generational patterns. They live in our subconscious, guiding our actions automatically. But the moment you become aware of them, you hold the key to change. Your awareness is the light that can dissolve centuries of inherited pain. Breaking these patterns does not mean blaming your parents or grandparents. They too were shaped by their circumstances and were doing the best they could with the awareness they had. Instead, breaking patterns means honoring the past while refusing to be imprisoned by it. It means saying, "This cycle ends with me. My child will not carry this burden any further." For example, if you grew up in a home filled with anger, you have the power to cultivate peace in your own home. If you grew up feeling unseen, you can make it your mission to deeply see and hear your child every day. If you inherited fear and limitation, you can teach your child courage and possibility. Every conscious choice you make as a parent has the power to heal not just your child, but your entire lineage. This is why breaking generational patterns is not only about your child's future, it is about healing your ancestors too. When you choose kindness over cruelty, compassion over criticism, love over fear, you are rewriting the story of your family line. You are giving your ancestors the peace they could never find, and you are giving your descendants the freedom to live without those chains. But make no mistake, breaking patterns is not easy. It requires deep self-reflection, courage, and sometimes even forgiveness for the generations that came before you. There will be moments when old habits surface, when your anger feels stronger than your patience, or when fear whispers louder than hope. But every time you choose differently, even in the smallest ways, you are planting a new seed. And with each seed, the old cycle weakens and a new one begins. So remember, you are not just raising a child, you are healing generations. By breaking the patterns that no longer serve love, you are setting your child free. You are showing them that they are not bound by the past, but can create a brighter, freer, and more loving future. This is one of the greatest gifts a parent can give, a legacy of healing, transformation, and light. The eternal bond of souls. The relationship between parent and child is not limited to this lifetime. It is an eternal bond of souls. Long before you held your child in your arms, your souls had already danced together in the timeless realm of spirit. You may have been connected in past lives in different roles, perhaps as siblings, friends, or even as parent and child before. This is why the bond feels so deep, so unexplainable, and so powerful. It transcends the boundaries of time and space. Your child is not just your child. They are a soul traveling alongside you. Both of you agreed, even before birth, to meet again in this lifetime for a higher purpose. Sometimes that purpose is to bring joy and love. Sometimes it is to teach patience, healing, or forgiveness. And sometimes it is to help one another resolve unfinished karma. Every laugh, every tear, every challenge, and every triumph is part of this soul agreement. When you look at your child with this perspective, you begin to see them not only as a responsibility, but also as a divine partner in growth. Their soul is as ancient as yours, as wise and as infinite. They came into your life not by chance, but by choice. And together, you are walking a path of mutual learning, healing, and evolution. The eternal bond of souls also explains why the connection between parent and child is unbreakable, even when life creates distance. Even if a child grows up far away, even if there are conflicts, or even if one soul leaves the physical world too soon, the bond remains. Love between souls does not end at death. It continues, echoing through lifetimes, calling you back together again. This is why parenting should never be seen as temporary. The love and lessons you give your child ripple far beyond their childhood years. They carry into their adulthood, into their relationships, and even into future lifetimes. When you give your child patience, kindness, and strength, you are not just shaping their present, you are shaping their eternal soul journey. At the same time, your child's soul is shaping yours. They bring out qualities you didn't know you had. They challenge you to grow in ways you might have avoided. They hold up a mirror, showing you your strengths and your flaws so that you can evolve. This is the beauty of the eternal bond. It is not one-sided, but a mutual exchange of growth and love. So, when you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, or unsure as a parent, remind yourself of this truth. This bond is eternal. You and your child are souls on a divine mission, chosen for one another with purpose. The lessons may not always be easy, but they are always meaningful. And long after this life has ended, your souls will remember the love, the struggles, and the growth you shared. Parenting, then, is not just about raising a child. It is about honoring an eternal soul connection that stretches across lifetimes. And when you see your child through this lens, every moment becomes sacred, every challenge becomes purposeful, and every act of love becomes eternal. As we reach the end of this journey, let us pause and reflect on the sacred truth we have uncovered. Our children are not separate from us. They are mirrors of our karma, reflections of our choices, and carriers of the lessons we most need to learn. Every smile, every tear, every moment of joy or frustration is not random. It is a divine echo of what we carry within our own souls. This understanding is not meant to burden you. It is meant to awaken you. It is a call to awareness. Parenting is not just about providing food, education, and shelter. It is about consciously shaping a soul while also allowing that soul to shape you. When your child reflects anger, perhaps it is an invitation to heal the anger within yourself. When your child shows impatience, perhaps it is a lesson for you to practice calm. When your child shines with joy and love, it is the universe reminding you of the light you too hold inside. The beauty of karma is that it is never fixed. It is fluid, ever-changing, always responding to your actions, your words, and your thoughts. This means that at any moment, you have the power to shift the energy in your family. By choosing kindness over harshness, patience over anger, and love over fear, you rewrite not just your own karmic story, but also the story your child will carry into the future. Remember, your role as a parent is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about showing up every day with the awareness that what you do matters, that what you say echoes, and that how you live becomes the blueprint for your child's tomorrow. The seeds you plant today will grow into the forests of your child's destiny. Choose wisely, choose consciously, and choose with love. And never forget, the bond between you and your child is eternal. Beyond this life, beyond time itself, your souls are connected, growing together, healing together, and evolving together. Parenting is not just a duty, it is a spiritual journey, one that continues far beyond the physical world. So, the question now is not whether your child reflects your karma. The real question is, what kind of karma do you want them to reflect? Will it be love or fear, wisdom or ignorance, kindness or bitterness? The answer lies in the choices you make, moment by moment, day by day. Because in the end, your child is not only your reflection, they are your legacy. They are the living proof of the love, healing, and wisdom you choose to bring into this world. Your child is your mirror, What reflection will you choose to see? Your karma is not your prison. It is your opportunity. Through your child, you can heal, you can grow, and you can transform. Raise your child with awareness, and you raise generations. Heal your karma, and you heal the world.